Hey guys, it's Stella, and today we have a dating horror stories video that I promised you a few weeks ago, and I'm here to deliver. Before we get into the video, I do want to thank the website BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. BetterHelp is an online counseling service which I am more than happy to be a partner for. As you guys know, if you watch any of my videos, I always speak about my mental health issues because it is so important, and understanding my issues and learning how to deal with them and seeking help. Seeking out a resource because it is okay has helped me grow and helped me live my life in a more positive way that isn't so self-degrading. That potato girl I used to be has changed after I've recognized my mental health issues and sought out help. So again, thank you BetterHelp for providing online counseling so anyone can confidentially go and get the help they deserve. Do not be scared to reach out. You matter, and your life matters, and your value matters. If you feel there may be something deeper going on with you, please check out the link below to BetterHelp and take the self-test. I took the self-test, got contacted immediately, and was able to continue with my own journey and process. So without further ado, let's get into these dating horror stories. I'm probably not going to touch on specific boyfriends in this video. It's a different ball game, and it's partially because of the way we look, and it's also partially because of our mindset about ourselves and the subconscious mindset about ourselves. I'm the first girl. I know I'm bad. Like, I know I'm good. I know I'm gonna be awesome in a relationship, but because of the way I feel society will perceive me, I block myself from going on potential dates. So, like I've said before, reaching out for help is never a bad thing. Here's why. If you know me, I started dating again in March of this year. Me going out and dating again was prompted after a slew of self-discovery and getting help for specific mental issues I had dealing with my self-image. I got to a point where I was able to understand if you respect yourself and how you see yourself as how other people are gonna perceive you. Big secret, I never in my life went on actual dates before having a boyfriend before this year. I would play a lot of games in my old relationships, and I'd be very manipulative, and the way I would speak to people and the relationships I was building was all based on wrong things. And I didn't really understand that I'm human too. And just because of my size or just because of who I am as a person, because I'm very loud, that I'm able to date. And I don't need to just, online date and have a boyfriend. I'm able to actually physically go on dates. Like, I'm worth that too. But I'm still single, so obviously it didn't work out. So let me tell you why it didn't work out, okay? First date I went on in this newfound, oh my gosh, I can date, was actually the only good guy of this story. So I just want to leave him out of this because he's a genuine good guy and we're still friends today. I say that, I know this is a horror story, but I say this to reiterate that not all guys are bad. I'm specifically only telling you the bad guys, but there were some good picks of the bunch. Before going on dates this year, I told myself who I was going to be. I know who I am as a person, even though wow, I've never said that out loud. Progress, y'all, is a crazy thing. Okay, so I know who I am as a person and I'm owning it. This is a deep video and this is not supposed to be this deep, but I'm so happy right now. So I know who I am as a person and I know how I want others to perceive me. I know how I perceive myself and how I want that reflected on my community of friends and potential boyfriends. I set myself up that way. So when I first started dating, I had my profile and I had laid everything out. We've talked about this, so I'm not going to go too much in detail. I was confident going on dates at this point, and I think that's why I was able to start going on first dates. This is something I've never allowed myself to do because I always felt I wasn't good enough to be seen in public with someone, have that kind of emotion. I always felt I had to look a certain way. Like, what if they said something on the first date? What if they were like too shocked by my body even though I show full-length pictures? All the little negativity in your head. I go on a date with this guy, he's cool, I guess. And he's like really nervous. I personally am into the shy, quiet guy because, opposites attract. I'm loud. I need someone quiet. I need someone to themselves. I need the yin to my yang. I go on a date with this guy. He's about to graduate from his doctoral program. He's just killing it. Like, he's in school. So I'm like, okay, this guy might be really good. First point I want to make here. I knew I was about to go out with an almost doctor. Stella a year ago would never have thought I was good enough, but then I remembered people are just people and their occupation doesn't really define who they all are. So I go out and I'm like, ooh, I'm about to go on a date with an almost doctor. Like, we had talked on the phone. I'm a big person to talk on the phone. I hate texting. So we talked on the phone the night before for hours. Like I haven't done that since I was a teenager, right? So we set up a date. He asked me out the next day. I was like, you know, I'm free, let's do it. We went to this burger spot and then we were gonna go see a movie. So we go to the burger spot and we meet up and he's nervous, and at first I really like nervous. I love the nerdy, shy, quiet guy, and that was him. And so I meet with him, and of course I'm looking fly as ever, and that kind of took him back a little bit, and he was like very overly nervous and stuttering. But you know, I was like, let's get through dinner, let's see how it goes. So during dinner, he starts telling me everything, like his entire life story. Like I found out things about him I shouldn't even know until we're like dating. This is a first date. So anyway, I'm like, okay, well maybe this guy is just really open. I'm a very nice girl. Some of you may not think so, but I'm very nice. I'm very open-minded in a lot of ways. So when I'm on dates, I'm not immediately like, no, next. I'll give you a chance. So that's what I did. During dinner, I gave him a chance. And then afterward, he was like, we had some time before our movie because we were already in the complex the movie theater was in. And so I was like, okay, well, let's just go to Starbucks. We can sit and chat some more, because he talked the whole time. And that was my polite way of saying, you know, if you want to ask me anything about me, like I'm a little conceited, I'm a little like egotistical, and the fact that I put my ego on the back burner for a whole hour and a half while we had dinner, that says a lot about me and that I might be feeling this. So I need you to let me talk a little bit about myself. That was a mistake. So we go to Starbucks, which is right next door to the burger place. So we're in there and he starts asking me questions about myself. Of course, I did not initiate and say, ask me questions about myself. Like I think he realized like, oh, maybe I should ask her about herself. Now he's like, oh, I saw on your profile, like you're a YouTuber. And I was like, yeah, I'm a YouTuber. I love it. This is what I do. He goes on a whole rant about how he made one YouTube video 8 years ago. He wasn't just like, oh, I made a video. He was like, I made a video. It was in Russian. It was like this super cool video. Like he tells me the whole setup about the story. And I'm just like, okay, like, all right, it's cool. Like, I want to get to know you, but I feel like I know you. I feel like I know your medical history. I feel like I know your past, your future, and maybe even some of your present. It's too much. It's too much. That's when I start getting a little bit standoffish. But the date's not over. We haven't got to the worst part. I'm just like, okay, like, you know, the nice girl smile, like, okay. I kind of had an acceptance speech with myself, like, you're really just going to have to listen to this dude because he can only talk about himself. So I'm just like, smile, nod. You know how they teach you smile and nod. And at one point, he stops talking, and it's awkwardly quiet. I mean, it's awkwardly quiet. And he's staring at me, I'm staring at him, and it's not like a lovingly like, it's like, this is where things got weird. We are sitting there, awkward silence. I'm really standoffish at this point because he keeps just saying how beautiful I am, and he's very nervous, and he's just being really weird, like, really creepy weird. And then he says something, and I wish I unheard it, but I can't. And I quote, "Hey, I'm parked behind the movie theater. Do you want to go to the car real quick?" My first thought dealing with the boys I used to deal with are, oh my gosh, is he about to ask me like for the dirty? And I was like, no, I'm not really comfortable with that. I said it just like that. And he was like, would you be more comfortable if I pulled the car around to the front? No, sorry. I'm just not, like, why? Why do you want to pull the car? He's like, oh, I was hoping to get a kiss. And I was like, okay, no. So at that point, what I said was, I'm not really comfortable with that. If the date goes in that direction and, like, it gets better, basically, that, okay, we can share that moment if it feels right at the end of it. And he's like, oh, I just like to ask before I do it. And I was like, that's a little weird. I understand the respect thing. Like, some guys are that respectful. Like, can I kiss you? If you want to kiss me, kiss me. Unless it's like in a certain moment. In a certain moment, it's like hot for a guy to be like, can I kiss you? It's like, duh, yes. But creepily asking was weird. So after that, the whole tone, like, it was already weird. The whole tone flipped. I was no longer this smile and wave girl. I was definitely more like, okay, wow, okay. So I excuse myself. I go to the restroom. And when I come back from the restroom, I didn't even go to the restroom. I just went in there and I like got myself together because like, what am I in right now? Should I just go home? Keep in mind, we haven't even seen our movie yet. So we're sitting at this Starbucks and he has still yet to ask me any more about myself. He has now started a conversation about a date he went on earlier that year with this girl who literally got possessed while they were on a date together. The beginning of that story talked about how he had brought her to the car. They went to this abandoned parking lot. The same movie theater we were at went to the back of the parking lot. That's where they had met, and that they had did the dirty, and then she became possessed. Why do you even think that's a good thing to talk about on a date? I don't get it. Okay, so all in all, I didn't have the heart to be like, I'm out, because I don't know why I'm like that. I'm just too freaking nice, and it gets a hold of me sometimes. So at that point, he like wanted to hold my hand, and I like brought my hand away, but I didn't make it awkward at that point. I was like, okay, I just want to go see this movie. So we end up going to see Boss Baby, which was like a dope movie. We're in the movie. He like tries to grab my hand. He leans in for a kiss, and at that point I am irritated because I told him if it got to that point, which clearly it's not going to get to that point tonight, it would happen. Keep in mind, this is my second date since, you know, learning about myself. Movie's over. He rides me from his car to my car because I parked a little bit further from the movie theater because I was far from, like, I met him at the wrong place. He's like, oh, the night's over. I had a great time. Can I get a kiss? And I was like, no, I'm not really comfortable. You asked me like so many times for a kiss. Like, I'm not really comfortable with that. And he was like, please, just one. And I know this sounds so bad, but I gave him one kiss because I was like, I just want to get out of this car with no problem. Keep in mind, it's like midnight at this point because we went to a really late showing of the movie. No one's around. I'm like, I don't know this dude. He's creepy. So I give him one kiss and he starts going at it. He starts going to town. And I'm like, what are you doing? I push him off of me. I'm like, whoa, like this is too much. I'm not feeling this. I gotta go. He got a little offended and he got irritated, and I got out. He didn't wait for me to get in my car. Keep in mind, car's here. He pulls up here. I get out. He leaves. He doesn't wait for me to get in the car before he leaves. And I was like, did your mama raise a fool? Because I think yes. I was like, what did I just put myself through? Genuinely, what did I just put myself through? He tells me a story about him getting, like, his girl getting possessed in the same movie theater I am. I'm left alone in this parking lot with a guy who just kept trying to kiss me this whole time and made everything so awkward. And then he texted me the next day asking me to go out again, saying he had a good time. So that was horror story one. I know that didn't have a lot to do with my weight, which I guess is good because that just proves that we can date like normal. That guy lives in another state now and I don't want to have to deal with him. Actually, update to that. He actually found me on Facebook. He sent me a message. I didn't know I had added him. And he sent me a message, was like, hey, why'd you just stop talking to me? I ghosted him. I'm not even gonna lie. I ghosted him because he was being creepy. I just blocked him. I was like, I can't do this. So that was my first horror dating story. Know your worth, ladies and gents. Know your worth. So this next story I want to talk about is a little bit touchier and it's a little bit more serious, and it's especially why I wanted to make this video because this happened to me within the last month. I would say this happened to me about a month ago, and if you are in my You Now squad, you are very aware of this story, and I know some of you got a little angry. I feel as a bigger girl with a platform, it's important for me to speak about these things, so if you find yourself in this situation, you are more prepared than I was. So I am on a dating app and I meet this guy, and he is instantly cool. Again, my type, nerdy. He was in school to be a architect, like just super my type of guy. So I was like, okay, we start talking and he's everything, and I mean everything I would want in a guy I am dating. He is funny in the same way I am. He is smart. He is just quirky, like just has enough quirk to him. Like, I love it. So I'm like, okay, this guy is awesome. So the next morning, I didn't call him. This was all Snapchat. I think we were Snapchatting all night. The next morning, I get a text message from him and he asked me out for that day. He's like, hey, I don't know what you're doing tonight, but I would love to go out. We were talking about movies on Snapchat the night before, and it kind of just like naturally progressed into a date, which I thought was so cute because I love just natural connections with people, right? So I'm like, all right, guy, like, yeah, let's do it. He like brought up a conversation we had the night before, and I was like, absolutely, I'm still down. We make plans for that night to go to this pizza place and then to the movies to go see Mother. So I'm really excited all day. I'm like, wow, I can't believe I found a guy that I could actually probably date. He lives so close to me, which I know sounds so vain, but so many people in LA will not want to date you if you live too far away. Like this one guy I super duper duper liked. We just didn't work because he lived so far away, which I thought was so dumb because I'd be willing to travel, but I guess for him it was an issue. Whatever. I mean, I'm not that worried about it. Like if you're far, I'll find a way. You know what I mean? He lived close, and I guess that's a good thing because now I can ease that stress of, oh, if we're too far, he's literally 20 minutes away from me. I'm like, this is awesome. Like, this guy is perfect. He's just the perfect guy. Okay. So we're at dinner. I meet him at dinner. And of course, dressed like a baddie, the baddie I am. And I'm walking into this pizza place. I walked past and didn't realize it. Oops, sorry. So we met. He buys us dinner. He buys us avocado pizza, which I didn't know was a thing, but thank God it is because it's poppin'. And we have a cute little dinner. Again, super nervous. This is the only other date this year where the guy's been like overly nervous, and I don't really vibe with that. I feel like it's weird. Like, cute nervous, okay, but when you're like laughing and I'm just breathing, you're like, oh, that's so funny. Like, it's not that funny. Come on. It's okay. So I was like, maybe he's genuinely just nervous for this date. But things started to go wrong very quickly. First of all, he goes to school at this private school in Beverly Hills. He also skates. So he brought his skates, his skateboard, and his backpack to our date. I looked like I was with my little brother. Keep in mind, when I go out, I want like my mans to know like he's with superb Stella. I want him to know like I'm the baddest mind and body that you are ever gonna get. That's a little vain to say, but you know what I mean. So I dress very well. Heels, dress, hair done, makeup on point, however I feel is appropriate for that date. And I go ready. I'm like, I'm ready for this guy. He is perfect. He loves what I do. His Instagram and stuff seems cool. I'm about it. Coming in with a backpack and a skateboard with a girl, with a woman in a dress and heels and her little stuff together. Very off-putting. It looked like I was with my brother. Okay. And then I was like, all right, no problem. Like, I'm not going to judge you based on you were in school, like, and you didn't have time to go home. That'd be so messed up of me. So I was like, all right, I get it. You were at school, had to come straight here because you didn't want to be late. I respect you not being late, whatever. So he orders dinner. He pays for dinner. Of course, I'm old-fashioned like that. If you pay for first dinner, I'll probably pay for every dinner after that. Shout out to you for making that first step. So it was nice. And then we go to sit down, and that's where, again, it was awkward, laughing at every single thing I'm saying. But he was a gentleman. You know, a gentleman. With my water is empty, he went to refill it. Just little things like that. He was very proper, like pulled my chair out. He was a very nice dude. And afterward, we had a little bit of time before our movie. We ended up switching movies to go see Mother before, I don't even remember what we were going to see, but it wasn't Mother. So it's time for the movie, but because we were late, we weren't late to the movie. Backup rewind. He wasn't allowed to bring a skateboard into the movie theater. So me being the smart cookie I am, I was like, oh, hey, don't you just live right around the corner? We should go drop your skateboard off. Let's Uber there. And then we'll Uber back here and get our movie. So that's what we did. I was like, oh, I'll just get the Uber there. Because he had already paid for dinner. I didn't want to make him pay for the Uber as well. So I got us an Uber there. It was like $2 to his house because it was so close. He like said, oh, wait. I was like, oh, I'll wait outside because I don't know if he lives with his parents or roommates. And I just didn't want to make it awkward if this random girl he barely even knows comes in the house. So I'm waiting outside of his house. He's really quick, drops the skateboard off. I'm like, cool, let's go back. So I get the Uber back, which was like $1, so $3, ooh. And we're back at the movie theater. And this time, it's just him without all his stuff, and it's me. So he gets our movie tickets, which again was super sweet. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'll get snacks. We just ate. I knew he was gonna say no, but I would still like to offer because I'm just a lady like that. And he said no, and I was like, okay. He's still very awkward at this point, like a little awkwardly awkward. There's like a photo booth there, and he goes take a photo, and it didn't get sent to us the first time, and then the second one it got sent to us, he's like, oh, I'm gonna keep this. He's like, I should print this. It wasn't a strip that comes out. It was a email, and it emails to you. He was just like super weird about having this picture of us. So I was like, great, if this ends up on the internet, go meet. But again, the date's still going well. It's awkward. It's starting to get like that awkward I was telling you in the first story, just that like can we not be so obsessive over me? And I don't mean to sound vain, but when you date nerdy guys, sometimes you do have guys like this who are just like, I can't believe, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you. So the first guy, what he kept saying, he's like, I was doing more plus modeling back then. He's like, I can't believe I'm dating a model. I can't believe I'm on a date with a model. That's what he kept saying. That's why I got annoyed. Fast forward to now, sorry, I forgot that whole part of the story. I should start writing these stories down. Fast forward to now, I'm starting to get that same vibe. Like, I know who I am. Thanks. Like, I get what I do is cool. I'm here to enjoy your time and looking for a boyfriend, not for a fan. Just to be blunt. So I started to get a little weird, but by then our movie was about to start. So we go into the theater, and this is where things go south very, very fast. And my Prince Charming I thought I found, it turned out to be a pumpkin. Okay, girl, a pumpkin. I hate that I'm this person, but I'm admitting that I'm this person. I talk in the movies. I'm not like a full conversation, but if I see something cool and I want to comment on it, I'm a commenter. Let's put it that way. So I'm like, oh wow, that graphic was cool. Like I'll lean over and tell you that, or like, oh my gosh, that scene was amazing. I'll say stuff like that. Not like full, let's talk about the movie. Every time I would like give him a little comment, he got very nervous, like overly laughed, like ha ha, loud in the movie theater. Okay, like that's a little rude. So throughout the second half of the movie, things start to get a little interesting. At first holds my hand, which I think is sweet, fine, whatever. Like, you can hold my hand, like, I'm feeling you, I don't mind if you hold my hand, like, I obviously really like you at this point. It's natural, whatever. I think I laid my head on his shoulder and I went up because he had said something and I didn't hear him. My head's like this, right? And he said something because I think he was commenting on, I thought he was commenting on something. And I was like, what'd you say? And he kissed me. He kissed me. Hello. I felt violated. I didn't think it was appropriate at the time. I don't know when I would have thought that would have been appropriate. Maybe after the movie, before we depart. Like, you know, another instance threw me off. Like, I wasn't ready for that. And I say this story because I don't want you guys to feel like if you're in this situation that it's okay for, like, a kiss is sure just a little peck, but it's still your body and you still need to respect yourself and your body. And if you're not ready for something as small as a kiss, I don't care. It's okay to feel violated. It's okay to feel that way. So I wasn't like completely 100% violated because obviously I told you guys I liked this guy and it was going well before this, except for the nervousness. But I got over that because I'm like, it's cute to a point. And I was like, oh, whoa, like I wasn't ready for that. And it felt off. Like I feel like kissing is so intimate and I want to feel something. And so if you rush it, I'm just not going to feel anything. It's like doing the dirty. Like you're not going to feel into it if it's rushed. So I was just like, okay, like brush it off because I just pulled away and it was like, I just gave him a nice smile. I'm like, okay. So I felt a little violated at this point. I tried not to jump to a defensive part of me. I figured I would just, after the movie, tell him like, hey, that was a little soon. As the movie progressed, he thought that was okay. A lot of movie theaters in LA have reclining seats. So our seats are both reclined and he puts his arm on my leg. Okay, like it wasn't sexual at all. It was just like resting, but like, I feel like that's a cute way to rest when you're with someone, like in a relationship. So I thought about it for a minute. I didn't immediately push him off and I sat there and thought about this. I was like, okay, this feels nice, but it feels nice in a way that like we're only gonna have one date and we know what's gonna happen at the end of this date. Not, hey, we're gonna have 2 dates and maybe actually start being in a relationship. And I ultimately decided like, this is a really, really good guy. You really like him so far, set your boundaries. So that's what I did. I set my boundaries. I pushed his hand away and he sat over there. And for a long time in this movie, we were just awkwardly on the other side of each other. Like nothing, like I didn't rest my head on him, no hand holding, nothing. And then I didn't want him to feel awkward because he was over there feeling like weird. Like you can sense it. So I put my hand in the middle and he grabs it to hold my hand, takes it and puts it on his lap. I was like, okay, whatever. It wasn't near anything. I was like, okay, that's fine. Whatever. We can put it there. He takes my hand on the bottom holding it, puts it up to his privates that are in full on mode and brushes my hand against himself. At this point, we had been in the movie almost 2 hours. It's like a 2-hour long movie. I said, okay, this movie clearly is almost over because all the action was happening and I froze. I genuinely did not know what to do at that point other than take my hand away. So immediately I took my hand away and I was just like frozen. And from that point on, I didn't even look in his direction. I kept my hands to myself and I was freaking out. And I know some of you are like, Stella, why didn't you just leave? I'm like, I've never been so violated and I've never been in that situation. I didn't know what to do and I knew the movie was almost over. I was like, let me just watch the movie. So I was like trying to concentrate on the movie, hands to my side, looking straight. I did not look at him one more time after that. And after the movie, don't even think I looked at him walking from our seats to out of the theater. He didn't hold my hand. I think he asked me how the movie was and I was like he was behind me. He's like, how'd you like the movie? I was like, oh, it was good. Like I didn't even look at him. Like I just kept walking. After we get out of the theater, he finds a friend from his college, doesn't introduce us, but I'm like, that's okay because that was so weird. I'm never going to speak to you again. He's like, I'm gonna go to the restroom, then we can go. While he was talking to his friend, I called my Uber because I was ready to go. Luckily, I live so close, so the Uber wasn't that expensive. And I just felt weird. And he was like, oh, I'm gonna go to the restroom. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Because by the time he got done talking and then he was in the restroom, I had time to leave and escape essentially into my Uber. And it was weird. And we had gone from before that date talking and texting constantly for like 48 hours to absolutely no communication. And I got on YouNow the next day and told my story of what happened and how I just felt so violated. I don't know why guys think it's okay, and I honestly think it's because of my size and the disrespect for women combined. A lot of my early on boyfriends when I was in my young teens thought it was okay to just see me as like a sex object or to see me in this way, and I valued myself on that because I was acting how I was told I was supposed to be. That took a long time to get over and to deal with. And so now being in this situation that dealing with a boy, this is why I don't date guys my age. I do not date guys my age for this reason. It brought me back to that place when I was a 16, 17-year-old girl on a date or going out with a friend, and they would assault me in a way I thought was okay and I allowed because I thought that of myself and I thought that of my worth. And I allowed that because I thought that is what, oh gosh, I thought at such a young age that that is what I'm gonna be good at and that's my best skill about me and that is who I'm gonna be because of who I am. Not that girl anymore, and I've grown and I'm a woman and I'm different than who I was back then, and that brought me back there, and I immediately freaked because I was able to see this from a different perspective instead of, all right, I guess I'll be the girl you want me to be. So I left and he did not communicate with me at all. But then I texted him, and the reason I texted him was because after I brought it to you now, so I was like, okay guys, this is what happened, and I just was like talking with everyone about it, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to text him because I don't want him to think this is okay. I don't want him to think like that was cool, like I don't know if something up here was wrong or what. I just don't like that, and I think he needed to know, which is a big deal because I used to brush stuff away or I would condone that kind of behavior. I texted him. I was like, hello, I know I haven't responded to you since our date, but I no longer want to pursue anything with you. I felt violated and disrespected during the movie when you seemed to be making a sexual advance by rubbing my hand against your heart. That made me very uncomfortable and feel personally violated and offended. I wish you the best during your dating search. He said, oh, I'm sorry about that. I had no idea you felt that way. I wish you could have let me know at the time. I didn't mean to offend you in any way. I just thought you were comfortable. Why would you think that's okay? I digress. I'm sorry for hurting you. That's not what I intended to do, but I understand your decision. I hope you have a great time and think you find the right guy. That you find the right guy. You know, I completely respect the notion that this could happen to a woman of any size, but there's such a stigma against bigger people about dating and how they date and who they date and why the people who are not their size date them. And it's just fact. There is a stigma that there's a thing for it, and it's true. You see like people being overly zealous about their sexuality, and the truth is it's because that's what society tells us we're good for. Even though I like to be sexy and free, when I'm dating someone, I'm a little more of like the quiet, timid, shy, nervous Stella. There's such a stigma about big girls on the internet. If you even search the hashtag big girls, you'll just see everything, and it's just like we're so much more than that. Our worth is so much more than that, and it's okay to be sexy and free in your skin, but it's also okay to respect yourself and know what you truly want in yourself and your worth, and that you don't need to be this person society tells you have to be because of your weight. And that really just struck a nerve with me, like the whole situation did. I'm like, you are what's wrong with guys and girls dating bigger people. You create these assumptions, not just you, but like guys I've dated before. You create these assumptions about who we are, and we must be good at this because we look like this. Like, that's you, bro. That's you. You know, I haven't even brought that up personally in my counseling. I haven't, and I feel like I should, because you know it is a big deal. And old me would have been like, oh, it's not a big deal, every guy does it. But that's BS. That's BS. And I think that it's okay to talk about that with people and to just like figure out what you're feeling. So those are my dating horror stories I wanted to share with you. Again, if you can learn anything from them, just learn to love yourself and find the value in yourself and respect for yourself. That way others will be able to easily target on how you value yourself. I'm sorry this ended on such a negative note. It's just I felt it was very important to share this story. All right, I will talk to you guys very, very soon. As always, love, Stella, and I will see you guys later. Toodles.